Let me ask you a question. My niggas. What is a ballot? We talk about votes. We talk about voting. We talk about vows, right? What's a ballot? You cast your ballot. We're talking etymology. Hey, man, what's a ballot? Bellota. Bellota. Right. A falsehood. A lie. Bala, right? Ballota. Huh? All right, back it up, cause you. Hey, drive. What you? Come on, drop. I want to cast my vote. Our ancestors died for this. That's the biggest lie ever told. To give a vote to means to. Earlier, it meant to. Right. Okay. We're just talking vows. So when you make your vow, you cast your ballot, right? You cast your ballot. You cast your lie. I can't make this shit up. I can't make this stuff up, man. You cast your lie. You cast your vow. To vow. Your solemn promise. We got that last time. Solemn has to do with worshiping an image. An image. So your solemn promise. Your promise to God. Read it before you go to your elections and cast your ballot. When you cast your vote, you cast your, you know what I'm saying, you cast your vow, right? Your promise to a God, you cast a vow, and by casting a vow, you break a vow. Here's some great scripts on breaking a vow. Ecclesiastes, when you vow a vow or vote a vote to Hawa, do not delay paying it, for he has no pleasure in fools. Pay what you vow. So you owe a vow to Hawa. You owe a vow to the Creator to keep the code. Exodus 20. No more images, right? So you're supposed to pay up on that. You're supposed to truly keep the code. It is better that you should not vow than you should vow and not pay. So when you vow, when you make a vow, when you vote, earlier means this is the real spiel, right? So when you see earlier, it means this is reality before they changed it into your matrix. The vote vow is still the same language with the same meaning, my nigga. Earlier, it meant to vow. Got it. And when you vow, you make a promise to their God. A pledge, dedication, a wish, desire, longing, a prayer. So whether you're making a prayer or a promise, right, to their power, to their God, whether you vote and you cast your ballot to their false deity, to their lie, to their testicle, to their balak, right? We worship in the bull, we worship in the balak by the ballot, a falsehood, a lie, man. So when you cast your lie, your vow, your promise to their God, your vote, you forgot about your vow, it is better that you should not vow than that you should vow and not pay. So once you vote for them, man, you got to pay up. You got to pay up. Oh, you pay. You pay by being in captivity. Let not your mouth lead you into sin. Sin is transgressing the law. What's the law? What's the code? Y'all remember the code? What's the code? Exodus 20. What's the code? What's the code, man? Because it's one thing to make a vow and not know you're making a vow. And my nog, it's a whole other thing to make a vow knowing that you are breaking the code. Hawa spoke all these words saying, I am Hawa who brought you out of bondage, out of Egypt, right? You shall not have no other gods before me, my Naga. No other gods means no other promises to their God. No other promises to the lie. No other promises to the falsehood. Okay? No lies, no false gods, no images. Thou shalt not make unto you any graven image. And we got this last time. What is solemn? When they say a solemn promise, 1828, 1828, right? Oh, it's the worship of this image. Solemn supplication. What's rule number 1? When we keep the code, this is what we're talking about, my naga. This ain't religious. We're saying don't put no power before the creator of the entire earth, the universe, everything you want to call it. There's rules to you being out of captivity, free, the head and not the tail. I, Hawa, brought you out of Egypt, out the house of bondage. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall make unto you no images. I mean, you shall not bow down to them, right? Thou shalt not bow down, verse 5, and serve them. What do you think you're doing when you're voting, vowing? What do you think you're doing when you make a promise to them? And don't even trip, because we're just talking about casting your vow or your vote. Okay, to do something. So what are you doing when you do something with your vow? What are you doing when you do something with your vow? What are you doing when you do something when your vow? Thou shalt not bow down to them. What are you doing when you do something with your vow, when you make your promise? Not serve them, for I, Hawa, your power, am a jealous power. That means that you as a father don't want no other child calling, you don't want your child calling no other father, father, no other daddy, daddy, right? That would make you very steamed and hurt. Just imagine the hurt. So instead of jealous, just say hurt. I'm a hurt power because of the iniquity. Because they must hate me, man. You got to hate your creator to do this. You got to hate your power to do this. For the children into the third and fourth generation that hate me, how do you hate the creator? By hating the code that Hawa is speaking. To not have no other gods, right? No other vows means no more promises to their power, because this power is the one that has you in captivity. No more prayers to them. No vows. Managa, no vote. No ballot. Because when you make that ballot, you're making a lie, a falsehood, and pledging and promising and praying to a false idol. Solemnly with the image. Managa, that's what a solemn is. Because, Deuteronomy 28 says we're going to be the head and not the tail. And this is what it's all about, man. This, my naga, is for everything. Everything we're talking about, the reason I'm doing this is because if you keep vowing, then we don't have a chance. We don't have a chance. If you keep vowing, we don't have a chance. Hearken diligently into the voice of Hawa, your power, to observe to do all his commandments, which I command you this day, that Hawa, your power, will set you on high. You don't want to be low. For real, man. You want to be above all nations of the earth, all nations. How can you be above all nations and still vow to their powers? How can you be high? How can the Creator raise us up? All these blessings shall come unto you and overtake you if you shall listen, hearken unto the voice of Yahweh your power. Blessed shall you be in the city. Don't you want to be blessed in the city, my naga? But you know what happens, man? You know what happens, man, when you don't listen? All the curses of Deuteronomy 28. Your sons, verse 32, your sons and daughters shall be given unto another people. Your sons and daughters will be given unto another people. Why? Yahweh will bring you and your king whom you shall set over you unto a nation that you have not known, nor your fathers. This is new, and there they shall serve other gods, wood and stone. This is what happens when you break the code. This is what happens when you vote. You serve other gods, wood and stone. Wood, right? Oh, Jesus on the cross. Jesus on the cross. Wood, stone. Walk around the cobblestone. Islam, Christianity, making promises to their gods. Look, man, we can't make it up. When you vow, you better be careful who you vowing to. And don't break your vow. Right? Deuteronomy 23. If you make a vow to Yahweh your power, you shall not delay fulfilling it. For Yahweh your power was surely required of you, and you will be guilty of sin. But if you refrain from vowing, you will not be guilty of sin. You shall be careful to do what has passed your lips, for you have voluntarily voted to Yahweh what you have promised with your mouth. You promised with your mouth. Israel promised with our mouth to keep the code, to make us the head, my naga, and no longer the tail. Hey, because once we do that, no longer, is the stranger in the midst of us. The stranger that is in the midst of you shall mount above you higher and higher. What? The stranger that is in the midst of you shall mount up higher and higher, and you shall not, and shall come down lower and lower. So we go lower and lower, they go higher and higher. We go lower and lower. Why? Why? In hunger, what happens? Therefore shall you serve your enemy, whom Yahweh shall send against you, in hunger and in thirst, in nakedness, and in all want of things. He shall put a yoke of iron upon your neck until he has destroyed you. Yahweh will bring a nation against you from afar, from the end of the earth, as the vulture swooped down, a nation whose tongue you shall not understand. Man, it's right here in our face in Deuteronomy. And Yahweh shall bring you back into bondage, Egypt, in ships. By the way, which I said to you, thou shalt see it no more again. So they came over to our land, and they brought us out of our land from here in ships. And there you shall sell yourselves unto your enemies for slaves, Manaka, bondmen and bondswomen. And no one can buy you, no one can redeem you, no one can take you out of slavery no more. Because you chose. Because we are choosing to vow to our oppressor. To vow is to bow. But it shall come to pass, if you will not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh, to observe all, to do all his code, commandment, keep the code and his statutes, which I command you this day, that all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. Deuteronomy 28. We make no vows, my naga. No more promises to their powers, and we cast no more ballots. No more falsehoods, no more lies. All praise Yahweh and Yahweh only to break the spell and take the Naga out of captivity. All praise our Creator. Yahweh.